mark of the devil.
Whenever there's a film like this that's connected to a classic film that people really love, there's always an extra scrutiny, even if it's like a prequel like The First Omen. So was there any hesitation in taking on this role as a result of that?
I don't think there was any hesitation for me. I think it was something that I was really excited about. It's like, taking on, it felt like such a big challenge, and it felt like something that, on the page, it didn't read as intense as it actually ended up being. It read really well, but it's impossible to actually really understand what you're going in to do until you're there and doing it. And I'm always up for a challenge. I'm always up for doing some freaky, weird stuff, and I certainly got to do that in this movie.
Yeah, absolutely. As first lead roles in movies go, like it's certainly a unique one for sure. Yeah, how different was that? Because you've had a leading role in, say, Servant on TV, but in terms of film, is it just a case that you've just got more to do? You've got more scenes to film, more of that, or does it feel different as well?
Well, I mean, Servant, because we had 10 episodes, we shot for a longer time than a feature would go for. I spent a lot more time on that set. I spent 4 years on that set, so there was technically more to do there. But when you do a feature, especially one of this nature, it's so contained because you have a certain amount of days to get this done, and you have to go on this whole trajectory pretty quick. I mean, we weren't shooting for that long when we made this movie, so it's like you have to get comfortable and familiar with your character almost, immediately. And because sometimes you're starting from the middle of the movie as well. I mean, with this film, I think after the first scene that we shot is the one in the hotel room with me and Ralph, which is very near to the end. And it was literally the first day. And so they throw you in right in the deep end, and you really need to know your stuff. In a TV show, you get a little bit more time.
Yeah, and AR Cashia was also making her feature directorial debut here as well. How's it working with her? Is it sort of like you're in this together because it's such a big thing for both of you?
So much so. Like, it really felt like she kind of just carried me through the whole thing. Like, I feel like I was just like metaphorically clinging to her the whole time, and physically as well. Like, she's just, I say all the time, I'd really jump in front of a bullet for that woman. She's just the most fabulous person, and like a genuine, real friend now. And also, she's so talented and wonderful. And she made everybody on that set want to work harder. Like, she made everybody want to throw themselves into it. And I think that comes out in everyone's performances. The whole cast just was so committed and was so up for doing anything. And 99% of that was because we all wanted to show up for Cashia, because she showed up for us every single day. Like, she never slipped, not once. Like, she just went for it. And she had so much to do, And she always gave us like 110%. And I just love her so much.
And you got to shoot in Rome for this film as well, with all this fantastic like 70s period detail.
Yeah.
Does that immediately just get you into that mindset, because you're surrounded by these beautiful buildings and the religious architecture? Like, it must immediately help with the role, I guess.
Yeah, totally, completely. I mean, I remember the first time we shot outside, and the car pulled up, and all of the day players were there in full 70s. Because when we're in the orphanage, I mean, you get a sense of the time period, but because everybody's in like, in their nuns' habits and things, it's like, it's kind of ambiguous when you're there, like in real life, actually filming. But then when we walked out onto the street, and there's like 150 people in like full 70s, and the nightclub scene, oh my God, it's just immersive. It really is. It's so immersive. It's like this weird, like, live theater. It's crazy.
Yeah, and as you've alluded to, like, Margaret goes through a lot in this film, to put it lightly, should say. When you first read that script and you were coming to filming, was there a particular scene or sequence where you just felt like you wanted to get out of the way, you wanted to get to that sequence, get it banked, and then carry on with the rest, or was it just all quite a challenge in that sense?
Those are the scenes I'm desperately excited to do, genuinely. Like, those are the ones that I'm like looking forward to the most. The ones that they kind of like bookmark the movie as well, because there's story-driven moments and everything, and we're establishing moments which are all beautiful and it's all fun to do. But the really core big pieces, that's when you really get to sink your teeth into it and have fun with it as well. And yeah, the most intense scene in the film was probably my favorite one to shoot, to be honest.
Yeah, I have a feeling I know what you're referring to. Long one extended take. How many times did you actually have to do that? Because it felt like it exhausted me watching it. So I don't know how to film it.
The first take I think was around 6 or 7 minutes long, continuous take, and then we did it one more time, and it was again 6 or 7 minutes long. Yeah. So we did it just 2 times, all in one, didn't cut, and I had Cashia on the side of the camera with me, and she just let me do whatever I was doing, which I still don't know what that was. She just let me do what it was, and then she would, if she wanted me to keep going, I would just hear her going, keep going, now to the floor, up to the floor, and I would just stay in it and could kind of hear her above my own very loud head noise that was going on there. But yeah, that was definitely my favorite moment.
Yeah, I think that's definitely going to be a scene that people are going to be talking about. But there's also another scene that AR Cashia has already been talking about having to fight with the R rating NC-17 in the US.
I think I know the one you're talking about.
We're keeping spoiler free, but we know.
Yeah.
It is quite a shock to see. It shouldn't be nowadays, but especially the darkness of that scene as well. Yeah. It's so important to the themes of the film. Are you excited to have those reactions to people who are going to watch this and probably not expect something quite like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's fantastic. The reaction in the audience in the theater was fantastic. It was amazing. It was exactly what we wanted. And I think it's an important frame in the film because weirdly that one frame kind of encapsulates the whole movie for me, and what AR Cashia's saying and what we're saying is that it's important to have that. Sometimes I don't want to spoil it, I was about to there, but it's important to desexualize women's bodies sometimes in the name of art. That's totally fine. It doesn't always have to have some sort of sexual undertone. So I thought that was just brilliant and kind of groundbreaking and ballsy, and only Cashia could pull that off, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how people react to it when it comes out.
It was great seeing people. Yeah.
And because this obviously is a prequel, there's plenty of throwbacks, not just to the First Omen, but the whole series across, and other kind of religious horrors. For you, do you think there's a perfect way to watch these films? Would you recommend people rewatch The Omen, then go and see the First Omen, or kind of the other way around?
I don't know. I think what's nice about watching the original Omen and then coming back and watching the First Omen is that it's fun to kind of see all of our nudge, wink, winks and nods to the original. And, you kind of get a kick out of the fact that we've gone back in time and revisited this thing that everybody loved watching so much, which was the original. So, I think that order is best. But if you're a new fan and you're just coming into the universe, and you don't have an attachment to the original Omen, then yeah, I think it would be great to watch the First Omen and then the original. And also in the theaters, because it's the best way to see it, I promise you.
Yeah, definitely. And kind of like that classic saying about London buses, we have recently had Immaculate come out, which tackles similar themes and is bringing back this kind of religious horror that we haven't really seen for a while. What do you think it is? Is there something in the water that's bringing these kind of movies out at this time, or is it just a case of coincidence, as it were?
I don't know. I think it is genuinely just coincidence. But also these things are very topical about what women can and can't do with their bodies. It's a conversation that's been going on for a very long time, and it's come back to the forefront again. And so I'm not surprised that those elements have been, those elements are in hundreds of different films. It's just these two thematically do seem to be quite similar. But what I think is fantastic? I think it's fantastic that there's so many more female-driven horror films, and that, we've got another fantastically talented actress. Not saying I'm a fantastically talented, but saying a fantastically talented young actress, Sydney Sweeney, who's at the forefront of this horror film again. It's so fun to see female-driven horror stories.
Yeah, absolutely. And considering this was your first lead film role, I know you learn everything. You learn on every single role you do, but is there a particular lesson you're going to take from doing this one that you'll bring into a future lead film role, or really any other roles that are coming up next?
It depends what I do. I don't know if there's much I could take from this one if I were to do a rom-com per se. I don't know how much of this performance I would lean on for that. I don't think it would work. But it depends. If I go on to do another horror piece, then yeah, I'm sure things that I've learned from making this movie will definitely lend themselves there. But you know, I'm always learning everything. I'm kind of just like existentially learning about my life and like myself on like every film that I do. So I think hopefully I'm getting older and wiser, but I'm not sure. I'll let you know. I'll let you know in a few years.
Chat, you'll let me know. And just finally, what are you hoping that the Omen fans get from this, or horror fans in general, when it comes out in cinemas next week?
I hope they just get a real kick out of it, to be honest. I really just hope people have as much fun as I did sitting in that theater and watching it with all the people that I love and all my friends. And like, it's just such a good time. And it's like, this is pure entertainment. Like, it really, really is. And, you know, I hope that people who really love the original of the Omen, not that it's exclusive for those people, but they see that, you know, everybody who made this film really cared about, you know, paying homage to the original and keeping it in the same tone and thematically the same. And yeah, it's also fun to just see a story that's been, you know, sleeping for so long, reawakened with like a little twist of modernity and, you know, all of us running around in nuns' habits trying to scare you. It's a lot of fun.